Hey guys, Desolate Magic here, back with another great arena deck that you can very easily build because, well, most people are opening the newest Guilds of Ravnica packs, and this is a Guilds of Ravnica guild, and it uses their mechanic. Now, a lot of the other cards in here are actually, ones that you get for free, or they're common, so they're a lot easier to pull with wild cards. So let's just jump right into it. We've got Gird for Battle. By the way, I should give some context first. This is a Mentor deck with a ton of ambush. So Gird for Battle is just kind of a way to manipulate the Mentor. You know, if you've got all 2 attack out there and they all have Mentor, you're going to have a problem. And also, I mean, more damage. It's 2 more damage for the entire rest of the game, assuming the creatures stick around, for 1 mana. I mean, plus survivability. It's a damn good card. Then we got Healer's Hawk, because of course. I mean, it's just the perfect Mentor target. You can swing away with it. It's a good turn 1 drop. I mean, everybody loves this damn card and simultaneously hates it. Then we've got Take Heart, wonderful ambush here. And it's also a saver. I mean, if somebody's playing any kind of red mix, whatever, and they hit it with a shock, a lightning bolt, whatever, +2 toughness is probably enough to keep it alive. So, +2/+2 until end of turn, and then you gain 1 life for each attacking creature you control. So, if you have to do it on their turn, whatever, you don't gain any life. Otherwise, hey, life gain. And there is a shockingly high amount of life gain in this deck, even though it's like a speed blitz damage deck. Then we got Goblin Banneret. This is a 1/1 for 1, and it's a 1-drop. I love it. But then it's also Mentor, which is completely worthless if you don't activate his ability. But late game, this guy can hit for 5, 7. I mean, because you +2 his attack. So not any kind of toughness, but you're not losing much if you were to have to, beef him up to 3/1 and then you take something out with him. And then you probably get a Mentor off it. So he's kind of throwaway. And then if he manages to stay out on the field, because he's not exactly a lightning rod with, 1 mana invested, he's going to do some damage late game. So I really, really like him, especially if the opponent is playing no control at all. That is just like devastating. So next up we got Integrity or Intervention. So +2/+2. It's basically Take Heart, but without the life gain, and it's split on the mana. So I love that. If you have either one open, great. And all the fixing in this is a fast deck. Let's see, the Guildgate and the Come In Tapped one, both come in tapped, so the mana fixing is very, very sensitive, and then neither one of those 2 can trigger the single check land, and then the other one takes damage. So, or wait, I don't know if that's even on color. What I'm trying to say is the mana sucks for this deck. It's slow and it's awful. So you're probably going to be running a lot of individual mountains and plains, and the hybrid mana helps a ton. So Intervention is also pretty cool. I mean, it's a little bit overpriced for 4, but that's the point. The optional spell on the right is like it's overpriced, but if you can do it, that kind of thing. So 3 damage to any target, including, a finisher on your opponent's life total, or a planeswalker. That's huge. And then you gain 3 life. So that's just nice. All around nice. I feel like, honestly, it should probably just be like a sorcery speed 3 cost, but being on a split card, that makes sense. So next up, we got Sunhome Stalwart. It's just, it's a Mentor, it has 2, it's a 2-drop, and it has first strike. So, perfect defender. I mean, if they're swinging with like a 3/2, they can't. I mean, you'll just kill it. And when they get bigger, watch out. I probably would have more of these in the deck if I had more of them. So, once again, arena deck. This isn't exactly the tightest deck list in the world. Next up, Electrostatic Field. I'm still kind of regretting putting this in here. It's a 0/4 just combat staller, which is very important. If you're going to swing all out with Mentor every single turn, you're still not going to win that quickly compared to like old school Red Blitz. But, you're going to want something where you still deal some damage with it, but you can also stop combat. So either like a cheap Death Toucher, which this cannot have because of the colors basically, or ta-da, there it is. So 1 damage every time you cast an instant or sorcery. That's huge because there's a lot of them. And then it's a 0/4, so it can stop a lot of stuff, and you're not very invested in its early game. So I only have 1 in because I think I only own 1. But it's interesting. I don't know. It very much lets the game go further and longer, which is not really what you want to do with this, but it also prevents you from getting killed by a fast deck. But, the sideboard could too. And then also it has a lightning strike. So, I mean, if they bring out something dangerous, blow it up. Ta-da. Then we got Sure Strike. That's +3 and first strike. I mean, I love this spell. I've always loved it. And this is an insanely cool artwork. I love that. Everybody should pick out cards for their deck based solely on the artwork. But yeah, that's just amazing, especially on Healer's Hawk. Oh my god. I mean, there's 4 lifelink right there. So you could do this on whatever creature got through to finish them off. You could do it on whatever got blocked to remove one of their creatures. You could just do it to gain more life. I mean, just whatever. I mean, it's just the perfect card. Then we got Boros Challenger. I mean, I don't love this one, but it's a 2/3 for 2 with Mentor. I don't love the color split there. But if you pay 4, which is outrageously overpriced, you can give him +1/+1 and manipulate Mentor a little bit. That's why I only have 2 in here. I mean, he's on curve and he has 3 toughness. Okay, he can swing more often, and he's actually a little bit of a target for Mentor, believe it or not. So next up, I think I would be running 4 of these. Justice Strike. I mean, you got to have that sideboard ready with something a little bit better, like Fight with Fire. But target creature deals damage to itself equal to its power. So it just drives me nuts that this can't kill a 4/5, but it can kill a 12/12. So, I mean, I'm all about that. So yeah, this for 2, this is probably the best removal in the whole deck. It crushes Lightning Bolt, or Lightning Strike, whatever. Both, technically. Let's see, next we got, let's just scroll all the way down here. Response or Resurgence. So this is huge. I love this. The double split mana, or hybrid mana, I should actually call it what it's called. It deals 5 damage to target attacking or blocking creatures. So if it just attacks unopposed and you don't block it, you can still hit it. And then if it blocks one of your creatures, like they even flashed it in, cool, fry it. I mean, 5 damage for 2 mana, I don't mind the restriction of it basically having to occur during combat. It's never really come up. And then Resurgence. Ooh, I have beat people with this. It's one of those real long shot ones. It's not really overpriced, honestly, for what it does. So creatures you control gain first strike and vigilance. So right off the bat, just swing away. Cool. And then after this main phase, there's an additional combat phase followed by an additional main phase. So you get to take a second swing at them and still have vigilance the whole time. Crazy. I love that. If you've got just like flyers or you already dropped a sure strike, I mean, that's an awful lot of mana, but there's all these weird combinations you can do. They swung all out at you and you somehow managed to stop it, like with some kind of ambush. Here's the counter swing. Oh, and by the way, X2. So I do love it. I don't love that it's, cost 5, but whatever. Next up, Swiftblade Vindicator. Once again, there should probably be 4 of these in the deck. I mean, they're so easy to blow up and like not Gutter Snipe. Chain Whirler takes them out, but that's what the sideboard's for. So yeah, double strike, vigilance, trample, double strike plus sure strike, double strike plus anything in this entire deck. I mean, Mentor, like literally the entire rest of the deck. Take Heart. I mean, anything. Oh man, that's crazy. That's crazy. And vigilance, which it has first strike. Don't forget that. So it's a great, blocker. And then also trample. This thing is not getting stopped. I mean, I don't know how this is like a $1 card or 2 or whatever it is. Whatever it is, it's not enough. Next up, Sworn Companions. This honestly probably just shouldn't be in the deck. You get 2 lifelinkers for 3. It's sorcery speed, which, okay, I don't love that, but they're mentor targets. It's mostly just in here because it's arena. I wouldn't actually run this. Then we got Active Treason. I mean, does the deck need it? No. Does it fit the deck? No. But is it freaking hilarious and can single-handedly win the game? Yes. So I've got 3 of them. I mean, it is what it is. I like kidnapping. What can I say? Then we got Gutter Snipe. This is probably more fitting than the wall, but think about it, though. It's a 2/2 for 3, and you would never want to swing with it because of how powerful and important it is. But then again, if somebody were to mess with this with either a direct removal spell or killing it in combat, or trading, I should say, that'll leave your mentor creatures wide open. So, I don't know. I mean, this has a lot of spells. It has 21 non-creature spells. So, you're going to do some damage, but the thing is, you're already going to do some damage with the damn spells. I mean, they're probably going to win by themselves. So you could cut Gutter Snipe in the wall completely and just go 100% all in Mentor and then Ambush, which is what this was actually supposed to be. But I didn't have enough cards, so I'm like, Trees and Gutter Snipe. That'll be fun. Plus, these 2 go together, actually, which is pretty funny. Next up, Tajik. I mean, because, of course, duh. I mean, yeah, it's 3 and he's only 3/2, whatever, who cares? So Haste Mentor, that's cool. And then First Strike, there we go. Okay. So late game, if you had 5 because they got something bigger, you can First Strike them and maybe survive. And also prevent all non-combat damage will be dealt to other creatures you control. So I believe that's Force Fighting and red spells. Can't really think of anything else that would apply. So, but yeah, the Haste, the Mentor, that's huge. Because, I mean, you could just bring them out and let's go. No time for your opponent to react. And you drop them in at just the right time. Cool. I love the ability. I love the other ability. They're subtle. It's great, but he's legendary, and I mean, I think 2 probably is the number. He's a little higher on the curve, and you want to just blitz the people. And the rest is just all lands. So grand total, we have 21 lands, which is all you really need. Nothing in here costs above 3 except for the alternative spells. And you can see the delicious candy corn right here. Well, I'd look at this chart actually. 1, 2, 3, straight up. I mean, the average is 1.87, and that's obviously incorrect because these right here are considered 7 costs, but I guess not by this program, only by the actual rules. So yeah, that's all there is to this. And I got Boros Guildgate, Clifftop Retreat, which is obviously pretty good. Stone Quarry, whatever, and then Plains and Mountains, cool. It's about split. So I mean, if you add more of the better fixers, cool. But that's about it. It's just all in Mentor with Ambush. I think that's the best way to run Mentor. Some people, instead of Ambush, which can also be damage boost, which is why I think it's better, are running either just all like Lightning Strike, Direct Removal, Fight with Fire, Spit Flames, whatever. I don't love that. It doesn't stop everything, and you're just screwed if they're playing giant green creatures. And other people have gone with like White Pin Down Removal Exile with like Luminous and the Hieromancers or whatever. It's not terrible. It does get threats out of the way, and it lets you swing away with Mentor, but it's like, what do you want to do? Get rid of every potential threat to make sure you can swing every combat and just try to make that work while also only casting really one or the other on a given turn until you get to like 4 or 5 mana? Or do you want to swing anyway, make them be like, well, why is he going for a trade? Oh, he's just trying to trigger Mentor, and then Sure Strike, and then Take Heart. It's devastating. It is utterly devastating to get hit by that. It's just so bad. So I think this is probably the most effective, most trickiest version of Mentor. And the best thing that I've noticed is definitely the whole, okay, they suspect with what you just did, you just swung with an underpowered creature into a 5/5, you probably got something. You're going to Lightning Strike it for the other 3. You're going to Sure Strike it and take it out. You're going to Take Heart. You're going to do something. What exactly are you going to do? Well, if they assume, okay, worst case scenario is Sure Strike, cool, so I'll let it through. Well, then you're just going to Sure Strike their face. I mean, if it's Healer's Hawk, you just gain 4 life, and now the creature's still alive. So it's like, they'll be too scared to block you, so if they're just like, fine, I'm just going to block him, I'm going to call his bluff, you probably do have a Sure Strike, you probably do have a Take Heart, and then you cast it and remove their creature, your creature's still there, you didn't deal any additional damage to their face, but they're going to run out of cards quicker than you because yours is still alive and theirs isn't. So the math on that, because it takes 2 cards to take care of one of their cards, it's not great. But if you're very surgical about when you light it off, it'll actually work. So that's all I got to say about this deck. It's pretty good. I love it. It's fun. It doesn't win terrifically often because it's not like amazing against Golgari or Dimir. Or I've seen, what have I seen? Red, White, Black. That's pretty mean too. Just hyper control draw stall. And some of the other more gimmicky decks, but this is very like straightforward, go hit the gas. So if somebody's got something that doesn't quite work, this will just punish them. It'll absolutely run them over, especially if they're going to try to win in combat with very little control. I mean, the less control they have, the more likely this is to win. So that's kind of cool. So if not many people play literally creature removal, because counter spells won't really shut this down, I would go for it. I'd play this. And this is pretty cheap. I mean, really nothing in here is very expensive at all. I think even like Tajik, Swiftblade, Boros, they're not worth much. Even some of these rares, they're like $1. I mean, you could probably get this whole shebang done for like $25, not counting the lands. And honestly, you could just skip all of the Clifftop Retreats if you really wanted. So yeah, check this deck out. Hopefully you can build it and have some fun with it. And I will see you guys next video.